everyone, welcome back to the future of Kitchen Table TCG. My name is Louie. Today, I don't really know what we're gonna talk about. We're gonna give you an update. We'll give you a little bit of a market update as well. Updated on the shop. This is probably the last time you're gonna see sawdust in here. We have been working super hard. This is the play space, if you remember that. This is gonna be the play space. Look at all that sawdust. We've been building cabinets and storage, and look at all these cuts. Listen, I've been trying to figure out ways to use every little stupid piece. I'm not sure it's worth the time it takes to use every stupid piece. Let me give you an update. We are probably this weekend going to clean. I have a person who cleans who's going to clean the building normally, and she's going to come and clean. So I got to get all the sawdust out of here by Friday. So the goal is to get everything built before Friday. We'll see if it happens. It is currently Tuesday night at about midnight. Today we put in this is going to be like the retail point of sale desk. So the point of sale will be there. And then here is like a table area for a chair that can go down. So my employee who works out front will be able to help the employees who work in the back. We'll get to that in a second. But this is built so that a chair can kind of slide under. We will paint this black on the bottom to look better. And then I put a little teak oil on this. I tested that out. I think that'll look really cool. I'm not gonna like totally finish things. I don't want things to look like perfect. I don't think things like need to look perfect. You know, it's a workplace in this back end, but I want it to be fun for the employees. So let's see, what else do we build? My buddy Cameron, so what happened, I have a great friend, Cameron, who does some like bathroom remodeling and stuff. And I asked him, I don't even think I asked him to do this. He ended up helping me with this. What did I ask him to do? I asked him to help me with that stuff out there. And then to build these shelves that are in the back. So Cameron built this shelf, which is over my desk. And then he built these massive shelves, this huge shelving unit. We'll talk about that in a second. But then I asked him, I said, hey man, teach me how to do it while you're doing it. So I watched him do it. I learned how he did it. And then I've just been building stuff. So we did this one together. This is going to be where we have our singles. So the singles, we like to see all the cards, kind of our idea. I know a lot of people like drawers and that kind of stuff. My employees like to see all the cards and be able to go to it. So this is I think 17 feet or 18 feet, maybe 15 feet, I don't remember. Table of singles will be there. And then we have extra storage up there for 5,000 count boxes. So more cards can be put up there. It is not under the hood, importantly. That way, if water somehow does get under the hood, it's not a big deal. And then, so, my buddy helped me build this one. And then I just learned. And so I'm building this one right now. That's what you saw me finishing. This is just going to be storage, just for like inventory and extra stuff and storage. And then that's when I also built this table today. So yeah, lots of building. Let's go back here today. We were back in the other room the other day. Lots of building. Let's talk about storage tables for a little bit. A lot of people, I didn't show you this one. So this is for the fizz batch. This is storage for the fizz batch. So the idea is, let's see if you can see this. The idea is that the fizz batch will go up here. That's our card sorting machine. The fizz batch will go up here. And then we have 12 bays to put 5,000 count boxes. We color sort with the fizz batch for Magic. So it'll be, 12 bays for the cards to go in, and it's easy to pull a 5,000 count box out and do what you need to do. And then with some of that other lumber, I'm really bad at estimating lumber. I just did like a Home Depot pickup or delivery, and I have twice as much lumber that I needed for sure. And I still have some more lumber coming tomorrow, so we're just gonna keep building. I think we'll put another big shelf here for storage. And that'll be it. That's enough storage. I was worried about storage, and now I think I've overdone storage. Let's talk about storage for a second, because one of the things with TCGs is figuring out how to store the cards and the inventory. And this is now, one of the benefits of me having a third location in I don't know, 18 months or something like that, is I have done all the wrong things for storage. The first kind of place I was in, we didn't have a big storage room. We just had kind of a closet, and it just got super full super fast. And there was no rhyme or reason. At the time, we weren't really doing singles very much, as big of a deal. We were doing like 30 orders a day, whereas now we're like 200 and 250 orders a day. So we didn't have any space as we grew. We had zero space. We had a little cart that we pushed around with the singles. And so my employees, we'd lock the cart up in the back room, and then the employees would have to go get the cart, and that didn't work. I mean, it worked for what we needed it, but it didn't scale very well. And then when we were in this most recent space, we built a whole room for singles, and that was awesome. And it was awesome to have a dedicated room for shipping singles. We could lock it up. We could, keep it out of, other people. And that was great, but it also presented other problems. When you have a dedicated room, I think you had to go through, if you were in the front of the building working as a retail employee, you had to go through 1, 2, 3 doors to get to the singles. It was just the way that the room was set up. And so one of the things I wanted to do here was still separate the space to have a separate room for singles. And that's what that room is with that big table. And have a separate room for singles where the employees, if somebody checks out, we have a kiosk. The way we do our singles is we have a kiosk out front that has all the singles from our whole inventory on it. And so if they check out the kiosk, then the employee, if they're the only person working, they can still go back and get it without having to be 4 rooms away from the customer. So that's kind of nice. So that's why we wanted to have that, but we still wanted that dedicated space. The dedicated space is super important. But then you also have storage and you have product. And so a lot of people recommend buying the shelving. I think Rudy has always done the regular shelving from Home Depot, and that's great. The shelving that is metal and whatever is awesome, because the weight of product is a lot. It's a lot to have the weight of product. What I've found is that those shelves just aren't built for TCGs. The Home Depot shelving is not made, it's just not made for the size of things of TCGs. And you can buy, I was looking at Uline, the perfect size. It was relatively the same size as these ones. But they were like $550. I think to do this with the Uline one was going to be almost $2,000. This, I think I have spent a total on lumber. I think I've spent a total of $1,500 on lumber, and I have more lumber coming. And so you can do so much more. Now, we're not going to put, this is set for cases. You can put cases here. We're going to put, our bulk storage and cases kind of more in the back. Actually, it's going to be in what was the cooler. You want to see? This is going to be the bulk storage back here. So what we do is we put pallets on the ground, and then you just have a circle here that is the kind of bulk storage. So if water does get in, it doesn't get to it. But the pallets, so you can stack cases as long as you stack the similar stuff. It's it's not a big deal to have to get the box that you need. But the shelves from Uline, and really the shelves from Home Depot, they're too wide. So when you go to pick up the product, it's just too wide. The product is way back there, and so you have all this wasted front space. And so when you have the wasted front space, you end up, employees, maybe not you, right? If you're just at your house, maybe you don't, but employees end up putting stuff, I end up putting stuff on the shelf in front of the product, and then you don't really know what product it is. So the idea with this is it is kind of built to the size of Magic product. You can put 1 or 2 booster boxes there and you can see what it is, but you're not tempted to put stuff in front of it. It's kind of built for that space. But then it's also separated. We do a lot of we have eBay, we have TCG Player. So what we can actually do now is label this shelf, and this shelf can be, everything that is listed on eBay. This shelf can be things that are listed on Shopify or on TCG Player, whatever. We just started doing Walmart, so we can actually separate our inventory and say, hey, this is things that are listed on Walmart, because we don't share inventories across those platforms, because there's just no good way to do that. So that is why we do the shelving the way I did. It's more cost effective if you know what you're doing, and I didn't know what I was doing. But one of the things I've learned in this process is things don't have to be perfect. I used to think, like, not all the time, but it's tempting to say, oh, I'm not going to do that because I can't do it. I'm not going to create something. I'm not going to build something because I don't know what I'm doing. But I learned, and I'm not illiterate when it comes to woodworking. I've done that in the past. I did shop class in high school. I worked in a lumber yard and a mill when I was in college. So I've done it. I haven't done it for 15 years. I haven't done this kind of level of building things in 10 to 15 years. So I would have, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, just been like, no, I need to find somebody else to do it. But what happens is, you just learn and you do it. And, going back to the shelving and stuff, like the way that this building is set up, because it was a restaurant, they put these giant 2x6s as whatever that is, as trim to kind of keep it, watertight or whatever. And so we just built around that. And if we put those U-line shelves or the Home Depot shelves, our shelving wouldn't be able to go all the way against the wall. And then you have things that top over, and you have things that are just not completely finished. And so to be able to figure it out and build this place out kind of customly is super fun. And it's really enjoyable to say oh, I'm learning something. I'm learning how to do something, and it's a new skill. I bought tools, a lot of the money that I would have spent paying somebody else to do this, whatever. I bought the tools. You know what I mean? I did that because now I can do it. Now if we need a shelf, when I'm going to put shelves kind of all over the place. This place is going to just be full of shelving in the background. And so one of the things I'm learning is just figure it out. Just do it and just figure it out and take the risk and take the calculation and go for it and build. And who knows, maybe some things will go wrong and this shelving will be wasted, right? If we ever have to move out of here, we're leaving this shelf, right? That's all the lumber is $1,500 worth of lumber and 3 or 4 days of my life and time wasted, and that sucks. But I have a skill. I learned something. I learned how to do something. I challenged myself, and there's value in that. And so I think one of the things I'm learning through this process, I don't even know what this video is anymore, but one of the things I'm learning through this process is just to challenge myself and to do things that maybe I wouldn't normally do. And so this time around, it's more woodworking. And I'm sure we'll run into other reasons that I need to build other stuff, and that'll be fun. It'll be fun to kind of show you guys things in the background, and I'm excited. I'm excited to have, you want to see? I'll give you a sneak peek because I am going to do a full video on this in the future. But we're going to switch up the way that we do singles as well. Right now we use Quick List software, but I bought some new iPads. And so we're going to have an iPad station that uses the TCG Player app that's new, because that scans Lorcana and One Piece and all the other games that we also buy. So that's going to be really cool. We'll do that another time. But we're going to have one station over here, which is typically what we had was the person who working the counter would buy the cards. But then I'm going to build a smaller station over here so that when we are super busy and there's 2 people waiting for collections, I can have 2 iPads and 2 collection buying processes going at the same time, which will just be a better customer thing. So we're good. We're going to start cleaning up. Hopefully, hopefully tomorrow or Thursday I can build the rest of the stuff I think I'm going to build. And then we're going to clean up, get all the sawdust out of here. And we'll update you probably Saturday after things are cleaned up, and we'll see where we are. Thanks for joining me in this journey. It's been fun. I guess the point of this video is to try something new and to learn and to not just give up. So have a great day. Be kind to the people around you. We'll see you again next video.